Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. So if you're joining us live, say hi. Please do write in the comments from whatever platform you're on. I know I have shared you across multiple platforms. So we will answer any questions on the actual threads. So we can't see them now because we're just live across streaming in, but we will go back to them. So please feel free to interact with the session, to ask any questions, and we will come back to those as well. So if you're new to me and you're catching this, even on replay, I am Stacey Dudley, the founder of the Clarity Circle, a company that assists people with their personal and professional development. So that's allowing them to raise their conscious level of awareness, to create clarity within their world, to bring ultimate joy, happiness, success. And that isn't a one size fits all. That is whatever happiness and success is to you. It might be just, going to the supermarket every day. It might be being at the top of your corporate ladder. It might be being the best entrepreneur within your sector. Whatever feels good to you, that's what we want to bring by giving you tools, techniques, resources, access to just be you, creating a safe, sacred space to move yourself forward. So International Women's Week, wow, we have had an array of incredible women. We've gone from life coaching certifications with the wonderful Haley. We've had EFT tapping, stress and emotional release from Annie. We've had dating advice. So, if you are single and you are looking to mingle, then Kellie might have some incredible advice for you. We've also had meditation. We've also had animal Reiki. I mean, the list goes on, and there's no exception to the incredible Kellie, which is joining me today from Australia. She's all the way in Australia, and I never actually mentioned on quite a few of the other lives, which I'm now going to go back and edit where they were in the world, because we've had Canada, America, all sorts of different places. I won't quote their towns because sometimes it's a little bit different, and I don't want to get it wrong. So Kellie is joining us from the Elysian Element. So Kellie has been through the Clarity Circle Life Coach Certification Program. But not just that, she has been through an array of life experiences. So I'm going to hand over to Kellie. I will be, coming in and out of conversation with her. Said, if you do have any questions, please put them on there. But thank you for joining us, Kellie.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you for having me. Obviously, coming live today is a bit of a pivot for me after a recent personal experience. So I created the Elysian Element to help women create a beautiful divine life, which is perfect to them, through self-transformation. And I was flying so high recently, and then something just completely took me out of the game, completely unexpectedly. It knocked my confidence. It really shook me to the core. And it actually, as I mentioned earlier, it took an outsider actually pointing it out to me, because I was, I thought I was in such a good place. I had all these things going on. And it was one of my clients took me aside, and she was like, Kellie, I don't know what's happened to you. She said, but whatever's happened has destroyed you from the inside. I was like, oh my gosh, I wasn't hiding as well as I thought I was, the stuff that was going on. So I've had to really take a step back, use all my tools that I've ever gained through life, through therapy, through coaching, like with yourself and, other therapists I've seen and stuff like that. And I had to use every tool I've ever gained in my life to get me through my recent experience. I'm not going to go obviously into great detail. That's not really what this call about, what this talks about, but it's about how the power in making your comeback, and the power lies in, your recovery from these situations, and, taking your own power back. And it's been quite a journey for me. And the biggest thing I've discovered in this this situation, I think, has been that reality is clarity. So when I could get really real with myself and my situation that was going on, And I literally had to become an observer of my life in order to do that, so that I could see clearly what had been going on, what was going on, and what could have happened potentially moving forward, so that I could actually get myself out of the situation I was in. So it's made me take a look at myself. My confidence took a massive knock, like even, coming live, and, I felt that I couldn't be who I was for other people because of what I had going on internally. And I had this, and I'm going to be honest, like I had this idea of coaches that, they had, like you said, they had all their shit together, they didn't have their own problems going on, and that they were unshakable. And this was like, oh my God, it was like literally a reality
Yeah.
slap in the face. And, I've always been the biggest advocate for other women and stuff they're going through and supporting them. But at this moment in time, I literally had to turn right in and be that for myself. And there was times I couldn't, and I had to reach out and get help, and I had to reach out to my friends, and I had to be really transparent with people about what was going on, because I couldn't hide it. And I felt at the beginning, I felt such an element of shame because of my external circumstances, what was going on, and responsibility for stuff that other people had done, when, we can't control that.
We can.
We can't.
We have,
No.
yeah, we have our circle of control. And I think, to give a little bit of context, Kellie is in Australia. She runs an incredible, successful business on top of her incredible coaching business. She is a wonderful solo traveler who I admire greatly. And that goes back to subconscious, feelings for me. It's like, oh, don't do that, you'll get stolen there, or that stranger might take you. And I'm like, oh my God. And you've shown that, and you've done that. And like you said, you've had your biggest months in business, you've got clarity, you've shown up for yourself, you moved all these thousands of miles away from your family, and it, to sound really shittily cliche, that in the face of adversity, like, just literally show up, like you've shown up incredibly. And sometimes acknowledging that only one thing, it's that one thing, can knock you clean off that sustainable foundation that you've been working for years on.
Yeah.
Years on. But what is important is it's that comeback, it's that understanding it. But like you said, it takes sometimes for somebody to say, actually, you're not right. And
Yeah.
when you're in that moment, sometimes you don't want to believe it, do you?
Yeah, that was it. I was in complete denial. And like I said, it was getting down to reality, and it gave me that clarity on what I needed to do. So once I got the reality check that I needed, I decided, right, what is going to bring me back to me? So, like you said, I love the world of travel. I've just done it. It's just been something that came so naturally to me, and I do it without a thought. And like, I get people message me all the time, go, "You're so brave, you're so this," and I'm like, oh my God, that's just me. That's who I am. That's how I am, and that's my life. And I do feel really blessed that I can do that. I have the power to do that, and I've set my life up. I didn't even realize that until recently. I've set my life up that I can do that.
Yeah.
And I did that. And I remember when we first started, like, the coaching journey and all that, and I think it was, you made me acknowledge that I was a businesswoman, because I didn't even acknowledge. I was just like, I'll just do this, I'll just do that. And you're like, hang on a minute.
Let's rewind. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And like even that acceptance for me, because I didn't have myself up there with other businesswomen, but obviously now I do. And so, like I said, once I had the reality slap in the face, I was like, okay, I'm going to book a trip to Bali. So I booked a trip, and then I booked my flights. I was like, hang on a minute, I've been to Bali a few times, but I really wanted to go to Gilly Tea. And years ago, I had this story in my head, because Gilly Tea looked so extravagant that I couldn't go, like, oh, I can't afford to go there, can't do this. So I was like, do you know what? fuck it, I'm going to do it. So it's a bucket list tick for me. So I did that. And then when I got there, I realized that, because I was like to everyone, I'm going to Bali for a few days to heal. But when I was in Bali, when I was in Gilbey, I realized that I wasn't going there to heal. I wasn't ready yet to heal because I'd become so disassociated with the situation. I was numb. I'd got to the point, I was like bowled over with grief and I kept crying. I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even feel connected to myself. It's like I wasn't even in my body. So my journey this time, my trip was actually about coming into myself. So I've never been so relaxed on holiday in all my life. I've never gone somewhere and sat by the pool for the whole day or sat by the beach for the whole day. I read most of the Celestine prophecy while I was there, which was absolutely mind-blowing.
Love it.
And I put my feet in the sand and I swam in the ocean, and like I really came into myself. I was in bed at 7:30 of the night time, ordered room service, and I slept, and I just listened to my body the whole time. And while I was there, I also had an experience of something not sitting right in my gut, right? It was with a particular driver over there. And I was like, oh my gosh. That's when I knew I was back in my body, because my body was giving me sensations. And I was like, right, I'm never ignoring this again, ever. So that was a promise I made to myself when I was there. And yeah, it was just about coming back into myself. And then what I realized is when I came home, that was when my healing started.
Yeah.
Because when I came home, I was back in my body, and I realized for the first time since Niagara Falls, I was lonely. I went to Niagara Falls in 2017. I stood in one of the most beautiful places in the world and realized I was lonely. And then I came back and I worked on myself, and, I built myself up. I got engaged in programs and with coaches, and, I did a lot of work on myself. I grew my businesses, and I didn't feel that feeling. And then it was when I came back, I was like, oh my gosh. So then that was another layer. So then I could start my healing process, which I'm still in the process of doing now. And like even this call right now is part of my process and part of me stepping out of a fear that had been created due to my situation. So I'm actually like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm shaking, I'm nervous, I've got all these emotions going on, but at the same time, I'm so excited because this is me doing what I love and stepping back into my power and overcoming my external circumstances from the work I've done inside, and
the fear grips us, and it makes us feel like we want to hide or ignore it. And like you said, that moment when you were in that cab and you had that feeling, that stomach, that before all your situation happened, and your life took a little bit of a pivot, because we all have them, like literally. I mean, I've got the flipping t-shirt, you can check the story behind the scenes. There's the rerun, but you were using rune stones, you were pulling cards, your intuitive ability and connection to the universe blew my mind. I was like, send me a card. I need to know what the universe needs for me today. And you were like, I have this. And I'm like, oh my God, this is me. Tapping into that, but also tapping into that to assist other people. Like I remember you saying to me, oh, I did a story and this lady's messaged me saying that I inspire her. I never thought that. And I've really helped her that day. And I was like, yes, because you are incredible.
And this is another thing. So something happened recently. I saw a friend of mine, she was in Japan. I haven't spoke to this lady in probably since 2017 when I was home for 8 months. And I said to her, oh, happy birthday, what else have you been up to? She went, oh, I'm just going off to do my Reiki. And I was like, oh, amazing. She went, you inspired me to do it. And I haven't spoken to this woman, but she's followed my story. She's supported my journey, with a like or a well done and this, that, and the other. But you never, it's mad because you never know just by living your own life who you're inspiring. And, because my circumstance, I'd stopped posting, I'd stopped being present, I'd stopped, and I stopped sharing my journey. And, even like you said, with my intuition, people have come to me for Reiki. And before they've got through the door, I've downloaded a message, I've wrote it down. I said, I have to say to people before they come, look, I sometimes get a channel before you come. and it's been so scarily accurate.
Yeah.
But when you've got an external thing going on, it can sometimes make you doubt that.
Oh
So
yeah,
it's about,
second
you've got
guess
to raise that
constantly.
vibration up, so that's where I'm at now. I'm not going to let anybody ever tap into that again or distract me from that, because that's part of me. And that, I want to hold on to that and just, I don't know, just build myself up to the point where no one can get in like that again, I guess. Like, I want to open up my heart to love and all the rest of it, but I'm not going to let someone take any of me off my path,
Yeah.
whether it's whether it's someone in business or friendship, or, because people can, circumstances can come at you from any direction. And I think the power lays in, knowing whatever happens, you're going to be okay as well, which I knew, but I just lost my path, I guess, for a little while. So,
And that's why it's so important to focus on looking at what is your life purpose, what is
mm,
clarity to you, what is success to you. And recently, like I said to you, I've had to do the same. I've gone back to my drawing board. I'm like, okay, this was the plan, this was the direction. I'm achieving all of these things. I had an
mm,
amazing opportunity to work in the corporate world, but it meant that I would be back on the rat run till 6 p.m. on an evening. Don't get me wrong, the financial package was absolutely incredible. However,
yeah,
that meant that I would then be away from my children again. And I take them to school every day and I pick them up every day when I'm not, traveling or whatever, or the dad's getting them. But, 9 times out of 10, I'm the one that's there collecting them. They don't go to after school childcare. They go to activities and things. But I was like, no, then I'm going to be back at the square one instead of following my own path. So
mm,
it's remembering what was your path and bringing yourself and
yeah,
writing that down, creating the visual representation of that. How do you want to
mm,
feel in a relationship? How do you want to feel in your working relationships? What brings you joy? Where are your hobbies? How are
mm,
you going to grow? And I think more than anything, in my opinion, which is what I always
mm,
teach people to say, we have to always be growing and learning. And it's not, why is this happening to me? It's like, why is this happening for me? Okay,
mm,
okay, let it be. As everyone knows there and back, that, 2024 for me is let them, let them be. Let people show their colours in every aspect of the wheel of your life. And then if they
yeah,
are not aligned with you, that's okay, because it's okay
yeah,
to say no. And I think more than ever now, through the journey that you've been through, you know your path. So when people can
mm,
come and weave within that path, which, we are
yeah,
all energetic beings weaving, you're going to know, actually, that doesn't sit right with the future that I'm now living and creating for
yeah,
myself.
yeah. And and that's why, like, I really want to help women in that space, and women who are, wanting to go places and see things and do things, but there's like this fear, and it's like you said, it's normally a story. And I believe that the hardest person you can ever confront is yourself. And I think if
Yeah.
you can get down and get to the root and the cause, and you can really get deep with yourself and look yourself in the mirror and be like, right, okay, what is going on and how can we change this and what can I do to move forward? And, like, I bet a lot of people could come with me with the obstacles of why they can't travel. And I've probably had them, but I wouldn't see it as an obstacle. Be like, okay, it's that's I wouldn't look at it as an obstacle, because for me to travel is to be free,
Yeah.
and there's so much out there. And, like, a lot of people travel to escape, which initially was what I did for years. And then at that pivotal moment again at the Niagara Falls, I was like, holy shit, what was I running from? I was trying to run for myself, and it's like, I'm still here. It's never going to escape until you can sit down with yourself and with a coach and with a mentor and someone who can actually help you move forward. You will be stuck. And, like, for me, my mission would be to let, for every woman to at least travel once on her own and have that freedom. And, walk with their feet in the sand without any disturbance, and jump in the sea with her clothes on.
Like I did last week.
Do you know what I mean? Or off if you want to go naked,
Yeah.
like I did in my pool in Bali. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? I booked the first night I was there. I booked this like private pool. Like it wasn't massively expensive. It was Bali. It was a safe area. I did a little bit of research. The area was recommended to me, so I went to this place called Sanur. I had a beautiful resort, private pool. I was like, clothes off, in I went. I was like, and it was so liberating and it was so freeing. And I would want every woman to at least experience that once. And I know I don't have children, but there are ways and means where you can still travel with your children,
Yeah.
and there's people who do it all over the world, like you do it yourself, but it's overcoming that fear to make that transaction, to book that holiday and know that you deserve that holiday.
Yeah.
And
You're worthy of it. You are worthy of it.
yeah,
You deserve everything
exactly. Yeah.
you want within your
Yeah.
life.
Yeah, and I would want that for everyone.
Yeah.
I'm very fortunate that I can do that, but like you said as well, it's also a mindset. So I've never thought about really being attacked or anything like that happened to me on holiday or getting stolen. I think, like, for me, I've always listened to people as well. Although, like, I was quite wild growing up and I always jumped with both feet in a pool without even looking what's underneath me half the time. But I never I never let that element of fear come between my dreams or where I wanted to go. But I would listen if someone said, don't go here, despite being a wild child, I wouldn't go there because, that's intentionally putting myself in danger.
Yeah.
The things can happen. Like I met a lady, she'd lost all her wallet, she'd lost all her travel documents and stuff like that. But, things can happen. But just that, knowing you'll always be okay. And if you need help when you're abroad, it's incredible. People who are actually so helpful, or people, just because they speak a different language, it doesn't always mean there's a language barrier either. There's Google Translate now. There's always people wanting to help you. Like, people like helping people. So I always look at things from that point of view. And I've missed planes. I've ended up in pickles myself.
Yeah.
But it's just knowing you're going to be okay, get your travel insurance, and tell people where you're going. And and social media is great for that as well, because people know where you are, what you're doing. And if you go AWOL, like I lost my phone in Italy, and I went offline for 24 hours, and when I got my phone back, sorry, I had so many missed calls. Are you okay? You weren't online. Da, da, da. Like, my family were looking out for me. And I had no idea they even followed me that much, because they don't talk to me that much. It's like, do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah, there's just so much out there. And I want to create that I don't know how to put it. Like, I want to create that for women. I want them to be able to step out of
Community,
that.
the collective, it's the community, it's the
Yeah,
collective, it's a safe
yeah,
space for them to come in. And you have so much experience when it comes to this. And when you were in Bali, I messaged you, and I know it sometimes sounds cliche and sometimes it's hard for people to listen, or if I message them or anything else, and I'm like, no, really, like, thank you so much for posting those pictures. I really enjoyed watching your journey, because and
yeah,
seeing the things that you were doing, genuinely, like, seeing that progression. I'm like, oh, I
yeah.
need to check what I've done today. And I want to see that, because there's more world travel that I want to do,
Mm,
myself and with my children. And
yeah.
it's having somebody in your corner who has the tools to assist you within your mindset, body,
Mm,
soul, and the knowledge of pivoting with business, with relationships, with travel, is a
mm.
huge asset, in my opinion. And that's why you birthed the Elysian Element. It's bringing all of those in as one, and
Yeah.
being courageous and having that desire of saying, I'd like to do this, but I'm not sure how to get there, and I'm also not feeling confident about it.
Mm.
Can you help? And that, that's what you're there for. And Kellie offers one-to-one sessions. She's got an incredible masterclass coming up. That I'll let you explain about the masterclass.
Yeah, so I've sat on this baby for such a long time, and it's called Her Soul Travels. And basically it's going to be giving women hints and tips on not only like not just booking your holidays, but sitting with yourself and where you really want to go, what you really want to do, and just assessing like what you think is stopping you.
Yeah.
And just getting there. Like I ran a course last year, and before the end of it, one of the ladies had booked a flight to Brisbane. Like she just it was done. So anything's possible. And within the masterclass, and it's also looking at holidaying versus escaping.
Yeah.
Because if you
Oh,
think you're going on a holiday to get over something, you're not. Do you know what I mean? You are going to escape. And like my Niagara Falls, I was looking at that beautiful thing, but I had this feeling in me. I wasn't 100% present, and I was just like, oh, why? And I wasn't fully immersed in that incredible moment. And I made a promise to myself the next time I went there, it would be different. And it was. I went there again last year, and I had a magical moment at Niagara Falls, and it's creating that for people and letting them know what's possible if they want to put themselves out there. And I can help you get out there and do that and go wherever you want to go.
yeah. Honestly, right, I've had to try and stop myself 3 times not crying on here because you are so inspirational and like touch my heart so much in the people that are around you. And you need to know that. And I think that just even, the business knowledge that you have is impeccable, and the journey that you've been on and the places and the people that you touch. And I cannot wait for you to bring your masterclass. I can't
Yeah,
wait to see more of, you have so many amazing connections as well within the holidaying world. And
yeah. Oh yeah, for
and
sure.
yeah, and people that you might not necessarily know the expertise of that, but you can direct them and you have connections, and they are valuable resources in life. And you know as somebody who only ever recommends something that they've given and tried themselves, for me I always then lean on others that I know that they've done that themselves, and that gives me great confidence for myself, for my children,
Mm,
for the people that are within my life. And we
mm,
need more of this within the world. We need more joy and accessible information that, is not going to cost the absolute bloody earth. Because, if I get another inbox inviting me to a £27,000 day, like, honestly, I'm like, no, that is not it. We're
yeah,
not here for that. We're here to be of service. We're here to assist.
yeah.
We're here to raise the conscious level of awareness of people. To, if you do one thing today, just one thing, right, to bring yourself joy, that's sometimes all you need. Be
Mm,
thankful for the
yeah.
warmth that you're in, for the water that you sip, for the air that you breathe, and become more mindful of it. Many times when you're on the rat run and you're rushing, like you say, you went to Bali, we're not going to heal, we're going to connect with ourselves.
Mm.
I've everyone knows my love for Portugal and my little safe sacred space. And when I go there, I'm one of the ladies, oh, were you lonely? Do you not wish you had a little bit of company? And like one of my best friends was like, oh, do you not miss having anyone with you? And I was like, absolutely not.
Mm.
I was
Yeah.
like, it's serene. I've got tools and resources, journaling that I want to write down. I want to ask myself some questions and be open and honest with myself
Mm.
and allow
Yeah.
my expression to flow in that moment, because we all know if we don't do that, it rolls into physical ailments. And the minute that anybody
Mm.
tells me, oh, I'm ill with this, or I've got a bad this, or my throat's hurting, or I've got a bad back, and I'm like, oh, your throat, okay, your throat chakra's off, okay, your energy center, you're not speaking your truth with love and compassion. I'm like, oh, your
Yeah.
back's hurting, you're not fully supported, are you? Have you voiced that opinion? And it's all to do with the energetics of our body, and we can
Mm.
change that by being intentional. And that's exactly what you did today. We had a
Yeah.
conversation last week. I put the summit out. I said to Hayley, right, let's contact these XYZ, go, go, go. And then she was like, right, I've contacted this. And I was like, Kelly? And she was like, oh, well, and I was like, right, I'm in. right? Come on, come in.
Yeah.
And even down to the timeline that you created your brand as a reflection of the feeling that people will have just shows how much of an energetic being that you are. And you know, we're going to upload this to YouTube so that you can catch this on replay. We'll be sharing some information on the YouTube link with, you know, what Kellie can offer to assist you, where to find her as well. And just if you want to inbox me, inbox her directly, or even email in at the Clarity Circle, contact us at theclaritycircle.co.uk. We can forward anything over to Kellie. If you on Kellie's platform, on her little group, if you want to go in there, there is an anonymous posting tab. Please don't feel that you have to be visible to ask something. You can be completely anonymous, and that's what this is about, creating that safe, sacred space.
Yeah, and everything is confidential too.
Yeah, everything is confidential, yes. So thank you so much for concluding our International Women's Week on an absolute incredible high, and
Thank you.
I'm excited for the things that you're bringing. I mean, you know, in the media world they call it the whistles, but I call it the gooses. Like I literally have got goosebumps.
Yeah, I get goosebumps.
Yeah, everywhere. And that's our angels giving us a hug, knowing us, telling us that we're on the right path, and that
excellent.
tapping into that. You know, just doing a card reading yesterday, I was like, okay, 2 more cards, and the person was like, why do you need 2 more cards? I was like, I don't know. I was like, I just got told, and here you are. And they literally came round in a circle, and it was an incredible reading. And that's exactly what you do. So please, I'll have some stones, please, and a card whenever you're free.
Yeah, I was going to say I'll do one. And of course, like, thank you to you and Hayley for extending this opportunity to me, because I think if you hadn't, I'd have still been sitting there like not ready, if you know what I mean. And so sometimes when opportunities present themselves, you just gotta go, okay, and then think about it after, and then off you go.
Yeah, and
So,
it is about opportunity, and it's something that I write about all the time. It's like, look, the universe will present itself. The universe will present something to you, and it's up to you if you wish to take that step. And we never move forward if we don't take inspired action. And you know that there's an incredible reel that I share, and I love it. And it says about, you know, and she's praying to catch the bus. But if you pray to catch the bus and you walk down the road, you really don't want to catch the bus. But if you pray to catch the bus and you run to get the bus, you know, and you miss the bus, you know it's not your bus.
Yeah.
So giving 110% to anything that you want to achieve is very difficult sometimes. We acknowledge that. But what happens is we should check our surroundings. Are we dedicated? Are we creating a routine? Are we removing energy that's not serving us? And you've done that. You've gone, you've cleansed, you've come back to yourself. You met yourself exactly where you are right now.
Yeah.
And that's the power. It's not saying, oh, it's done, I'm fine, like, ready to rock, and you're like, you're so full of shit. Like, and I say this to people all the time, I'm like, why are you trying to pretend? You don't have to. Just be you.
And another massive takeaway from my situation was people saying to me, just get over it, just get over it. And what I learned and what came to me in that moment is, when people are saying to me, just get over it, I don't have to befriend them, but they're showing you where they're at, with where you're at within their friend, like within their life. Do you know what I mean? It's a measure of their support in your life.
Yeah.
And that's been huge for me as well. Like, it's, so I know now to leave them, that friendship, where it's at.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean not being friends with these people or, you know, disconnecting with them, but you're like, okay, that's where you're at. Because, you know, when people are grieving, or, you know, whether it's a business or relationship, whatever it is, grieving's linear and it has no discrimination. You know, you don't know when it's going to happen, when it's going to end, when it's going to start, when it might bite in the ass, you know. And just, I would never tell anyone, just go get over it. Do you know what I mean?
And And that's exactly my theory for 2024. Let them show you how they respond to you without giving any form of indication. And like you said, that is a level of their empathy towards you. That, you know, I said this last night after being out for a meal. I was like, there's a level of priority here, and the level of priority, you know, I'm like, the level of priority doesn't sit right with me. So we're going to have a little reshuffle of a priority, and then we're going to put the rest of it there. And let them show you, let them. And then the people that step in and know that they're there for you, you know, ensure that it's always an energetic exchange.
Yeah, it's a world of trade.
Absolutely. So, thank you so much. I know it's late right now. It's just after lunchtime. I'm going to get ready. I'm heading out for lunch today. Going to the library as well. Excited.
You're going to steal the magazines.
Yeah. Oh, Kelly, honestly, every single time. I said once on a coaching call when I was teaching that I stole the magazines from the doctor's surgery to create a vision board. And I actually did, right? And I'm proud of it because I couldn't afford to buy all those magazines at the start of my journey, and they had lots of them. I did put some back at another time. I repaid that favor. I didn't steal the magazines. I'll never live it down. I will never
never
down
ever.
But thank you. Have a wonderful night's sleep. Wherever you are watching this, please reach out to us if you need us. See you soon.
Awesome. Bye. Thank you.